Hi friends, my name is Mackenzie, also known as Emtothethird on Instagram, and my full name Mackenzie Mullen here on YouTube. I also run Emtothethird Yarn Co, where I sell naturally dyed yarn as well as various products that feature my illustrations. There's a ton of yarn and project bags and all sorts of fun stuff in there now, and I will definitely include a link down below. I am coming to you from a very muggy Boston and if there's a little bit of noise in the background, like a little whir, it's because I have my fan on because I was a little sweaty mess when I sat down to record. Got a lot to show you today, got a lot to talk about. As I think most of you know, I am in the process of moving across the country from Boston to Portland, Oregon, and the date is slowly getting, actually it's not even slowly getting closer, it is very rapidly approaching. So yeah, we're down to the last month that we're gonna be in our house here in Boston, and you know, we're just packing, getting rid of stuff. You'll see like the wall behind me is very empty, even though it usually has, sorry, the street sweepers going by. Bye. You'll see like the wall behind me is really cleared off, so all of my little display things, and once I finish recording this episode, I'm gonna pack everything else up in my little office. So yeah, it's been a little chaotic. Kay and I are, so this is, I'm like in the middle of I am in the middle of my second to last week of my 9-to-5 job, and Kay is as well, so we're both trying to just get through this, doing what we can, getting rid of furniture, and then we'll have a couple of weeks to just like pack, like for real. So you know, it's going okay, but it's like moving just is disruptive, and this is a big move and there's a lot going on. Yeah, so I'm really trying to like get in the like bucket listy things in Boston that I've been wanting to do, see friends. I am, as of Tuesday, fully vaccinated, and I'm so happy about it. Oh God, it's such a relief. Yeah, I mean, I can't even, I'm like so grateful, not just to feel safer going to do all of the things that we need to do, like I need to go to the dentist, I need to go to the grocery store, but also like we're gonna be able to say bye in person to our friends. So yeah, there's just, yeah, if you know, you know, you know? So yeah, that's like my moment of just like, I'm very grateful. So I've got a lot to share with you today, knitting wise. I've got a couple of gifts recently that I want to talk about, and before I get going, I wanted to note that this is the second year, like we just hit 2 years since I released my very first YouTube video, and I like simultaneously can't believe it's been 2 years, and it's, and also just like it feels like it's so long ago, but it also flew by. So I'm really grateful that you're here, and that we're like this close to hitting 1,000 subscribers, which I'm stoked about. Like there's just a lot like happening and going on that I'm really grateful for, and yeah, I'm just excited to be here with you today, filming this before you know, I have to really pack everything up. one of the things that I've been talking about in my Slack channel is the fact that I like really can't bring my plants. So a lot of them have been redistributed to friends of mine, but what I decided to do was take some cuttings of my fiddle leaf tree as well as my monstera, and then I have my like little plants that I'm taking with me. So I'll still have some of them. They won't be as big, but eventually they will be. Yeah, you know, there's just so much going on, so I hope I'm not too disjointed, but hopefully once I actually start talking about knitting, we can get into it and things will be clearer. So let me start with some of the finished objects that I have, yeah, let's talk about those. So the first one, if you watched my video, the last video that I posted, which I will put a link to up here, you will know that for local yarn store day, Kay and I went to our friend Amanda and Alberto's shop in Western Massachusetts, and while I was there I got some skeins of yarn, one that I will be swatching with and I have ideas for, and then another one, another like two, they're like minis but like half skeins. It was like 250-gram skeins that were like coordinating. It's out of their Romney and they're naturally dyed. And I just like, after like I did a big shop update the last time we were talking, there's just a lot going on and I kind of wanted to like treat myself to like a quick fun project. I can't remember which podcaster says potato chip knitting, which might sound confusing, but what they mean by it is like, bet you can't eat just one, like bet you can't knit just one row. So I really wanted something like that like encompassed just like, let me just like knock this out. It's fast, I have something that I've done, but it also is like cute and whatnot. So I ended up knitting this hat, and I can't remember the name, but it's by New England Knitting, which I also felt like was appropriate. And I think it's just really, really nice. Like I really like the color work pattern. I made a pom-pom with the scrap, so I had no leftover yarn, and it fits me really well, but I don't really feel like I need any more hats. So this is going with a couple other projects to my family. I'm gonna mail it out to them. Stuff that doesn't fit anymore or stuff that I haven't worn a lot, I end up, you know, giving away. And so this one is going to my Aunt Ingrid. So yeah, it'll be really warm, good for like hikes. She used to do a lot of backpacking pre-pandemic, so maybe that's what this hat is destined for. So that's one finished object that I'm really happy with. I really like love the colors here. I think they're, and I do like the pattern. I think I'll be knitting that again. And as usual, I'll be linking everything down below, and I am doing my best at this point not to, I am using Ravelry for my own personal purposes, but as someone with somewhat of a platform, I don't want to direct people to them because of the ongoing accessibility issues that are unaddressed. So I am doing the best job that I can of linking stuff like patterns directly to the pattern designer's website. And if it is not linked, it's because it's not anywhere else. Or anywhere else that I can find. So I just wanted to make that clear that for the time being, that's sort of my stance on it. So that's the first finished object, and the second one is, I've talked about this, so I showed you this in progress. It looked a mess, and then I talked about, and then I kept being like, I haven't worked on it, I haven't worked on it. So I finally got like a really engaging show, and I was just like, I just gotta finish this thing so that another thing that I can like send off and not take all the way to Oregon before gifting. So this is another little cute jacket for my somewhat soon to be born nibbling. This is from one of my favorite baby knitting pattern books by Kelborn Woolens, and the back is like wild. Yeah, I think it turned out super cute. It's like this little, yeah, little jacket. So the yarn that I use for this is like the mill ends from shepherd's wool. I had bought a couple of skeins of it with the intention of doing, like, using it as a spin cycle replacement for something that I ended up not wanting to actually make. And so I saw it and I was like, I think this would be good for a little baby sweater. And so I just was like, I'm just gonna go for it, even though these colors are kind of wacky. And this baby is a Humboldt baby, so, which is a really like stereotypically hippie place. So I was like, they'll be fine, it'll be fine. So yeah, I kind of went all out. But I did use this yarn that I got from the Made Here Club by Sincere Sheep like a few years ago when I was subscribed, so that it kind of like kept the whole thing, you know, like consistent. But it's like a little funky, but I love it. So I'm really happy to be done with that because it was just kind of sitting around for a while. And I also have like a whole collection of other baby things. Some I've shared here and some I haven't, so I thought I would just show you this little collection of baby stuff. So I've got that one. I've also, you all have seen this one, which is using a mini skein set from the Woolly Mammoth Fiber Company. That was their like Christmas set. And it's called the Pick and Mix Cardigan, so that one is going. And then I've also got this little guy that is the Spotlight Sweater by Tin Can Knits, and that's knit with a discontinued worsted base that I was dyeing on, so these are all naturally dyed, the colors. I just love the like little primary nod, and it's like a single, it's like, someone once said to me, it's like an apple picking sweater, like you wear it for photo shoots. But that's going to them. And then I knit this, I think right at the beginning of the pandemic. It's a little baby surprise jacket. This is with Mondim by Retrosaria. Got a little button unlocked, so unlocked, a button undone. So that's pretty cute. That one's also going. And then this one I knit a while ago, but it is Misha and Puff is a very cute baby company that's actually based out of Boston. And they do have some of their stuff in knitting pattern form. So that's what these are, these little bloomers. They probably were never blocked, I'm thinking, but they're so cute. They got a little diaper butt. And yeah, so those are also, and then I have a couple of things that are not made by me, but just like little cutie rompers and onesies from Old Navy and just stuff. So so yeah, all of that is going to go, and that leads me perfectly into the latest whip cast on that I have done. So I talked about this yarn, which I got, I've like maybe even like alluded to this baby project before. Like I definitely have talked about the project, or like the pattern. I think I've talked about the yarn, and now it's actually just being made. So it's with this yarn, which is milk cotton, and I forgot to look this up before I started recording, but I have looked it up before, and I'm pretty sure it's like milk, like cow's milk that has gone through a process to make it, like a chemical process to make it into a fiber. It's soft. It's very splitty, which is fine, but it's like 6 or 5, let me see, it's like 5 2-plies plied together. You see that? So like it is very splitty. It's like blowing in the breeze of my fan. But I think it would be perfect for a baby blanket. So and I'm in the middle of a row. So the baby blanket pattern that I really like is very simple. It's from Stitch and Bitch, like the the first Stitch and Bitch publication. It's called the Big Bad Baby Blanket, and there's like a seed stitch border that you knit as you're going, and then it's 4 blocks in stockinette and reverse, and like alternating reverse stockinette. So it's very simple. The original pattern was knit for holding 2 strands of koigu, like, you know, they're fingering weight together. So when I have made this in the past, I've just used a DK or worsted weight on a big size needle. And by big size needle, I think I'm using an 8. So it comes together pretty quick, especially for like the speed that I knit. So I'm hoping to get it done so that I can send it out with all of those other things. And also it just took like 8 skeins of yarn out of my stash, and this had been my plan to knit that with it, to knit a baby blanket with the yarn, since I got it in a yarn swap that I did a few years back. That's really fun. I did like a slow-mo of us going through all of the stuff, so I'm gonna put a link to it up there. And again, I think I've like talked about this, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but yeah, there's one more thing I want to mention, so let me finish up this row, and then we can touch base. Okay, so it's a little scrunched up on the needles, but this gives you a better idea of what it looks like. So I'm actually almost at the halfway point. Probably need just like a little bit more so that this rectangle becomes a square, and then I'll flip-flop the knitting and reverse stockinette, the stockinette, reverse stockinette. But what I wanted to talk about was how I weave in my ends for a baby blanket like this. So what I do is, even if it's in the middle of a row, I leave it hanging like that, so there is a hole right now. What I will do is weave the ends in to close that hole, so basically to continue the stitch that's missing because I switched yarns, and then I weave the ends in like normal. But instead of leaving them dangling, like, I want both sides to be pretty, and I don't want anything hanging off that the kiddo could eat or, you know, whatever. So I'll take a coordinating sewing thread and a needle and whip stitch the ends in place so that you can barely see it, and they're very secure, but they're also no, like, bits hanging out. So very early on in my podcasting time, I did record a tutorial doing this, so I'll try and find that and put the link to that episode up there, so that you can see, because I also like to do this occasionally on shawls that like both sides are like the right side, because in general when I like weave in my ends, I'll just like leave a little tail that like gets felted, which I'm not going to do with this, for the reasons I mentioned, and the fact that it is a cotton milk blend, and so it won't felt. Like, that's just not the quality of the yarn. I did also join a new yarn, and now of course I can't find it, which is a good thing because I felt like it was sticking out a lot previously. But where I joined the second skein, oh no, you can see it. I did a magic knot just to try that out, but you can see it too much for me to be happy with. And I can tell that this is blowing out, so let me see if I can, because it's kind of a fun color. That's a little more accurate to what the color looks like. So yeah, I've been having fun with that. I think like a lot of my projects have been a little neglected because I just want to knit and not think at all. So despite that, I have made progress on my Stockbridge cardigan by Isolde. So I finished, let's see. So I have finished one armhole and I have tried it on. It's a funky vest right now, but it looks good. So I just have to go in and pick up stitches and start doing this sleeve. And then on this side, I think I've just finished the armhole decreases, and now I'm going to start doing like the neckline decreases. And like I said, I'm really excited about this, but it's just, I need to pay attention, and I don't have the capacity to pay attention right now. So I also only have 2 skeins of this Quince & Co. left, and I'm a little worried I'm going to run out. I didn't buy extra skeins because I have 2 skeins of the yarn in the colorway, but it's a different dye lot and it's very obvious, so I kind of rationalized like I don't want to buy more yarn from Quince & Co. And I figured if I used it on like the cuffs and the hemline, it would be less noticeable. I don't know. Stay tuned for those updates. But yeah, that's you know, it has some progress being made, but it's requiring a little bit too much of my attention. And when I'm stressed, I tend to cast on a lot, so I finished the hat. I'm working on the baby blanket. But did I cast on something else? Yes, I did indeed. So when I was packing up my stash, which is all packed up, I used some like vacuum seal bags. And I am recording like a moving vlog, which will be probably like one of the first videos I edit once I'm settled in Portland. And I showed those off and sort of showed what my stash packing up process looked like. But I took some things, I left some things out so that I could, you know, part of it was like stuff that I wanted to make for the nibbling, like the blanket, and I thought that I was going to use this Handspun yarn for, like, I was kind of thinking of doing it with the Spotlight sweater, using the Handspun yarn as the body, and then using like a coordinating color for the color work. But as I started working with the Handspun yarn, I was a little worried there was like too much stellina. You know, it was just, I didn't feel like it was a good baby yarn, especially to be gifting someone. I believe, hi Maple, hi baby, you want to hang out with me? Okay, good girl. Okay. So I will put a link to, I think last summer, when I talked about spinning this bat from Republic of Wool, and this is what it looks like caked up. It's so pretty, but again, I just don't think it's appropriate for a baby anything. Maybe like a toddler. Maybe not even a toddler, maybe like a, what, toddler? What comes after a toddler? Tweenie? I don't know. Anyway, but I still wanted to like do something with it, so I found this free pattern, and it's for this like shawl where it's like simultaneously biasing while you're adding stitches. So it ends up, this is the shape, but obviously it will be much bigger. So I'm using the Handspun, and I'm just incorporating some random garter rows of that like coordinating color. So I think it's gonna turn out cool. I'm also like definitely starting to knit just because, just to knit. Does that make sense? No. Knitting less, like I'm feeling like I have a lot of stuff that I wear knitting wise. There will always be more things, but I'm feeling less pressure on myself to like just be knitting stuff for my wardrobe. So I'm not sure that I'm going to wear that, but I'm like very happy gifting it to someone. So I'm kind of like turning a corner because I feel like I've knit a lot of stuff for me and a lot of stuff for Kay. And I can like kind of slow down on wardrobe stuff for us. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but it does feel like a significant shift for me. So yeah, I'm just knitting that because I want to knit it, and I don't have a plan for it. I might not work on it, I might end up frogging it, I don't know, but it felt good to do right now, and that's kind of all that matters in this exact moment. So, so that's something I cast on. Because I've been really craving sitting down and working on stuff, before I cast on the baby blanket, I was making a lot more progress on my weird sock tube. So I've folded it in half because it was getting very long. That's the most recent section. And I started trying to incorporate the next like main color, but I wasn't stoked about it, so I stopped. I don't know if I'm gonna rip back, but this is the next color, which is this orange. So I'm not quite to the oranges yet, so I think I jumped the gun a little. That's okay, because again, that project is very much like a it's almost like more like painting than knitting. So yeah, but that has a lot more progress on it, and I think I mentioned this last time that like if it's not done for this Christmas, it's fine. It'll be done when it's done. I'm feeling very like woosah about everything right now. Okay, let me show you some really fun stuff that I received recently, whether it was me purchasing it or it was gifted to me. I'll be very clear about what it was, and despite the fact that I was gifted stuff, I just want to make it very clear that I am so behind all of the purchases or all of the gifts that I was given, and that's the truth moving forward. I really always want to support other women who are in this industry, other women of color, other queer women, other queer people in general. And yeah, so let me show you some of these exciting things that I got. Okay. So the first thing that I did actually mention in the last video I posted was this amazing bat from Lindsay, who makes bats and other fun spinning things for Artifacts of Appreciation. She was watching my podcast and was inspired by my color palette to make this bat, and very, very kindly sent it along to me. It's clearly my colors. I'm about halfway through spinning it. It felt really, really lovely to, you know, spinning is so slow. Like, knitting is slow, but spinning is like a whole other level of slow. And Lindsay's really makes a lot of bats for like specifically sock knitting, which I have been wanting to make hand spun for socks. And you know, when she offered to send me the bat, I was like, hell yeah, like that's something I really want to do. And just with like the kind of chaos and general, like, actually, I don't even think words, I don't think I need to say words. I think that is like a good representation of how it feels to move. It felt really nice to like sit down and spin, and even if I couldn't like focus on it for a long period of time, it just was like a really nice kind of reset, and it has been that. I'm about halfway through the bat. Not sure I'm gonna finish it all before the move. I'm okay with that. But yeah, it's been just such a joy. I can't wait to ply it. And thank you, Lindsay, for sending it to me. I like really appreciated it. And then after I got that and was spinning with it, she posted this like set that she had made for socks, and I ended up purchasing that from her. And I'm also really excited to spin that. So maybe I'll do like a whole like project diary. Like that's a type of video that is hard because it just kind of takes some more extended planning to do, but something that I hope once I'm like set up in Oregon that I can start like committing to do a little bit more, following from the swatching to the knitting to, you know, all of that. So thank you again, Lindsay. I'm really excited to like keep y'all up to date with my progress on spinning it, plying it, and knitting with it. So the other thing that I got was I bought from Maria's last shop update, Maria's Woolen Forest on YouTube and Instagram is Woolen Forest. And she makes these gemstone progress keepers and stitch markers. And so I saw this one, and it's just so up my alley, if you can't tell from what I'm wearing. It's so nice. So I always think of like these types of stitch markers as like bling for your knitting, like jewelry for your knitting, and that's like exactly what this is. She also sent a cute, like very everything is color coordinated peach tea bag. And yeah, it was just a very sweet little gift. And in my last shop update, she got a little package. She bought a little package for me. So it's just really nice to, you know, love what your friends are doing and also like be doing stuff that your friends love. Like I kind of can't put into words how that feels. It's very special. So the last thing that I'm very excited about is, y'all know I love Zoe from Junebug and Darlin. She lives in Portland. We're gonna be like neighbors. I'm just like so thrilled. I've got her like artwork on my arm. This tattoo is something she designed. Like I'm just like very excited to be closer to her so we can spend time together. So she put together an exclusive kit for the Crafters Box, which is a subscription service for like a new craft every month. And for the month of May, you can sign up to get your own exclusive kit of hers in June. Sorry. So let me show you what she designed for them. Let me also adjust my camera. Is that better? Camera, are you mad? This is a mess. I think that's good. Okay, let me show you what she designed. So this is the pattern for what she designed for them. She does like the most amazing florals. I've shown them off here. I'm working on a big old maker cross stitch. And what you get in the kit, actually I did a little unboxing on Instagram, so I'm gonna like interlay that video here so you can see, but it comes with everything you need, including a video tutorial that Zoe did exclusively for the Crafters Box. So I was just like, so nice to get to support my friend by sharing it with you and sharing my excitement about her work and her success. So I really hope that if this is like a design that speaks to you, something you want to explore, especially if you've never done cross stitch. It's such a good intro to the craft, and you'll get this like beautiful piece of art that you can put up in your home when you finish. So yeah, that's a lot. I thought I like wasn't gonna record for that long today, and here I am. I think this is probably gonna be close to an hour. I'm surrounded by knit stuff and wool, and yeah, so my intention had been to record some videos before you know, starting the move, so that you could be updated through the months of like June and July. And what I'm hoping will happen is that I hit that 1,000 subscriber limit, which I'm very, very close to hitting. I think I need like 40 more. And when you hit that 1,000, one of the perks that you get is to be able to go live on YouTube from your phone. So what I am hoping is that I won't be like so deep in my stress that I can do some live videos on Thursdays, which is when I, you know, fairly regularly post, so that we can hang out and, you know, I can still be doing stuff with y'all while I'm in the process of this move. In the meantime, I'm also going to be keeping like a little moving vlog, which I talked about. I've already started recording for that, so I really hope that, you know, you'll stick with me as I go through this transition, and that you'll be waiting for me on the other side. And if you're in Portland or the Pacific Northwest, we can hang out in person, you know, barring COVID restrictions and whatnot. So yeah, y'all, we all deserve to give ourselves a pat on the back for getting through this last year, for getting through the, you know, just, I don't know, we just taking a moment to be appreciative of y'all, of myself. You know, we're doing it. It's happening. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope I offered you some inspiration. I hope I gave you, you know, some time to relax and work on a project. And I'll see you very soon. Definitely, if you're gonna be sad that I'm not gonna be posting as regularly for the next like 6 weeks or so, please follow me on Instagram, where I'm much more active. That's at Emtothethird. Here I will post it, and also it'll be linked down below. But I'll see y'all soon. And I'm not like, I don't want this to feel like a goodbye, because it's not. It's just yeah, shit's crazy. Shit's wild. So yeah, I'll see you soon, and thanks for hanging out. Bye.